What's up guys? So today I want to share with you the new secret boss in Warframe 1999, which has some new cool secret loots that you might have missed. So if you do the boss in the secret version, you get a Sumdali similar to how if you did the fragmented one before. So the secret version is if you have it on Steel Path and you activate certain terminals, you unlock the secret version of the boss, which will stop revives, and then each time you go down will lower your down timer. So it becomes really hard. The boss gets some extra mechanics. The boss speeds up, deploys some stuff that disables abilities, procs magnetic, terrible stuff, super annoying. It gets I believe a new ability that's like suspended in the air and it's like a pulsing. I don't know what that does, but it's super annoying. But yeah, I'm gonna show you how I beat it, and I'll show you how to do it, and also the rewards. So let's start with the rewards first, because I feel like, why should you do this boss? If you do the boss with a team or solo, any frame, doesn't matter, you get a Sumdali. So Sumdalis are basically go on your ship. For this boss is a giant tank cannon. You can put on your ship, so on the loading screens people can see the giant tank cannon, like, oh, this guy beat the boss. Pretty cool. But if you manage to beat it solo with one of the proto frames, so Nyx, Mag, Volt, Excalibur, Trinity, and Cyto 9, you would get a glyph to the respected frame. I'll put it up on screen right now. So how do you start the boss? You have to be on Steel Path, and then while you're doing the mission, before you start destroying the walls, when you pick up the beacon, before you call in reinforcements, you should look for a special terminal. It will look like a normal terminal computer, but it will have a green glow on it, and it's not going to be the one that's marked with the waypoint when you have the beacon. So once you find that terminal, you'll have to manually hack it. You can't skip it, you can't cipher it, you have to do it yourself. I wish you could skip it, but hey, you know, it's not that difficult. So once you get that one done, a red icon will appear on the left side of your screen, and Arthur will say, hey, why are you trying to make this more difficult? That means you're doing a good job, right? So then you take another beacon, do the mission as normal, but once you get to the second wall, you want to do it again. So if you forget to do the terminal and break the wall and go past, you can't go back and then do the old terminal. You just gotta restart. And then once you break the second wall, just like normal, you start the boss fight. So how do you survive this super difficult boss? I'll show you what I use to do it. If you guys have anything else, let me know. I was recommended certain builds and stuff, but they didn't work for me when I was doing it with squads, so I'm not going to recommend it to you. So with Nyx, my Archon shards don't matter, and my helmets don't matter. What really matters right now is the arcanes. So arcane nullifier will stop that magnetic proc from happening, which will you lose all your energy and you lose all your shields. Not good, right? Arcane Aegis, when you take damage, you'll regen all your shields really fast. Once it activates, you pretty much cannot die, so I recommend getting this if you don't have it. If you have a rank 0, it should be good enough. It's just that it's going to be non-stop recharge, so you should be fine. Don't worry about it. As long as you have a rank 0, rank 1, or whatever, you'll be fine. Other than that, sure-footed. If you don't have prime sure-footed, use normal sure-footed and anything else that can reduce knockdown chance or recovery, because the boss will do a lot of knockdowns. Aerodynamic, you don't want to be in the air a lot. 1, to avoid the knockdowns. 2, because the floor has a hazard that stops your abilities. I'll explain that later. So you want to be in the air. This is extra DR while being in the air. It's really good. And adaptation, extra layer DR. Who wouldn't mind this, right? Let's go on. For a weapon, I use the Kuva Heck. I was recommended to use like something else. Some people use like Fenmore. I tried it. It didn't work for me. So Kuva Heck was one-shotting the weak points in the first phase with the ult fire. In the second phase, it was two-shotting weak points with ult fire. But I experienced a bug where every time I try to ult fire, it'll sometimes switch to my melee, and it was super annoying. But Kuva Heck did the job wonderfully. I'll put it on screen if you guys want to see the full fight. Here's the build for the Kuva Heck. We have Fractalize Reset for the reload speed, because I'm doing the ult fire a lot. I'll explain how I'm proccing this, because I'm assuming you won't have energy or you can't use abilities. And my Riven is just crit damage. My secondary doesn't really matter. I use this to kill ads in the second phase. Doesn't really matter. I just have magnetic and gas for the tech rod. And my Vastalock is for armor stripping. Shattering Impact is able to strip the boss fully. If you don't strip the boss, you can have a really tough time. The last thing is our focus school. Vazarin is going to be super important. So what I did is I would go into operator, cast Guardian Shell, go back in. Guardian Shell will trigger my primary arcane, and then Guardian Break. Whenever my Guardian Shell would break, I would get extra shield regen, extra shield delay. It's really good. But again, if you can't cast abilities because of the hazard, you're not going to be able to cast this. So be careful and keep in mind the hazards that could spawn in the mission, right? You also have Protective Sling. You could dash into yourself to give yourself a couple of seconds of vulnerability. I didn't use this much but it is useful. I used it a couple of runs. Super good, super useful. Don't forget to get this as well. You don't need them maxed out. I did them with rank 2s. You'll be fine if you don't get rank 3s. All right, so mechanics. When you do the first phase, when you enter in, you could summon some specters before you enter the door. I believe it messes with the AI. But for the first phase, Kuva Heck up to the weak points, blast them. It one-shots them. If not, like one extra shot will do the job. You have 2 weak points on the right, 2 weak points on the left, and 4 up top, 2 in the front, 2 in the back. Just like I believe the one from the quest. So nothing too crazy. Once you deal with the weak points, you could armor ship him. He's still going to be super tanky. Then what happens next is you're going to have 2 enemies get marked for you. Once you defeat those enemies, they'll drop an RPG. That RPG would either do 80% of that health bar in damage, or it'll take like 3 shots, which is fine because you get 3 rockets anyway. Once you defeat that first health bar and you're down to the second health bar, these helicopter balloons spawn. Those will start showering the map in this green substance. That will disable your abilities. So you could destroy them if you want to, or you can just focus the boss and get to the second phase and those vanish anyway. Keep in mind, the mobs that spawn with RPGs seem a little tanky. Bring a secondary that can kill ads if your primary can't. So after you do that same stuff, defeat the weak points, RPG, you'll be prompted to interact with the tank. You'll jump on it, push a turret down, and then boom, second phase. So once you get the second phase, this tank is going to be super fast. It's going to be really aggressive. It's going to have a charge attack. It's going to have like a charge where it jumps up and then charges at you. It's going to have another attack where it points the cannon at you and loads it up and then fires, which does a lot of damage, by the way. So be careful with that cannon attack. But in that phase, it's going to have some weak points that spawn similar to the first one. These spawn randomly on the body. You could tell they're pretty obvious what they look like. The Kuva Heck takes about 2 ult fires, but because of the bug and the boss moves around a lot, I just used the main shot instead of the ult fire. So it took like 2 magazines to defeat 1 weak point. After you defeat a couple and the first health bar out of the 3 gets pretty low, the boss will become invulnerable. What happens then, a certain amount of mobs will spawn. You have to try to kill those mobs before they get close to the boss. If not, the boss will heal up. If the boss heals, it's not the end of the world, because once you bring it back down, it's not going to trigger the same event. But once you get down to the second health bar and bring that low, the same thing will happen, but this only happens, I believe, 2 times. So don't worry about the boss infinitely healing, okay? So all you gotta do is deal with the weak points and those ads that spawn. You should be fine. So my strategy while playing the fight, I would deal with the weak points. When my shields would break, I would either rolling guard or my shield would recharge instantly, but I'll try to keep my guardian shell active as much as possible. So I'll swap to operator, cast my 1, swap back, just to keep my shotgun buff up to get the reload speed, and also get that recharge delay on my shields. So after you do that the second time, the boss will start spawning these pillars, these orange pillars that will start shooting these orange goo on the ground. That's similar to the first phase with the green goo. So you can destroy these pillars pretty easy. The Heck took like 3 shots to blow these up. In the beginning, try to deal with those first 1 or 2 that spawn. If it takes you a while to finish this boss and you don't realize it, there will be a lot of them on the map. And they're going to be super difficult to deal with. Try to be mindful and remember that they exist, because if you forget about them, they could be your doom. But yeah, you just do the same thing, deal with those weak points, try your best to keep your shields up, and yeah, good luck on the fight. Once you beat them with the certain frames, you get your glyph, you get your Samdali, and you get bragging rights. Hopefully you guys enjoy, take care. I'll post the rest of the fight, and yeah, thank you, bye. What the fuck is it? Okay, oh baby. First phase done, let's go. Whew. Let's go. Oh my god. Oh, so focused. Oh my god, okay.
What have you been downloading? Just look for the soft bits and hit it there.
I'm sorry, I'm like fucking hyper focused right now. Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby.